भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा, ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
शील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी, वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे, परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ। बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर, शुभ संदेश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
रेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुराः पाणिर्मधुराः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं
चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna. In Zoom meeting, if you want to turn off the notification of Zoom chats, then click on the chats and then click on these three dots. Turn off notifications, click on that. Click on the mute option and now chats notification will not disturb you. Jai Shri Krishna.
कृष्णम्।
Jai Shri Krishna. My deepest gratitude and pranam in the feet of Prabhu Sri Hari and Param Pujya Acharya Swami Sri Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj. On behalf of Geeta Pariwar, I Pranav Pancholi welcoming you in the chapter 6, part 3, Vivechan in English. So we are starting our session with prayer. Let's take prayer in the first with the calm minds and open hearts. I now invite Subodh Vinchurkar ji. He is from Pune, Maharashtra. He is a PhD in behavior science, emotional intelligence, and human transformation coach. He is serving as a technical assistant and core trainer and joined Geeta Pariwar in 2022. So please welcome Subodh Vinchurkar ji for prayer. Welcome, Bhaiya.
जय श्री कृष्ण वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you very much for beautiful prayer. Now we are moving ahead for deep prajwalan. We are enlightening our Zoom room. So I would like to invite Ipsita Bhoi. She is from Jagannath Puri, Orissa. She is a homemaker. She is a devotional and spiritual books reader. She has joined Geeta Pariwar in July 2023. She is giving seva as a group coordinator. So please welcome Ipsita Bhoi ji.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृताम् कलहंसकृतावासाम् वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you, Didi, for beautiful deep prajwalan, and you have enlightening our Zoom room as well as YouTube. So now we are moving ahead for our most awaited part. But before that, I would like to tell you about our golden batch. 58th batch is starting from 16th October. So please tell your near and dear and family friends, your surroundings members to grab this opportunity to learn Gita as you have learned, share your experience and take them benefit and devotional spiritual benefit for them. So now we are moving ahead for our most awaited part is interpretation sessions. So our speaker is Vikas Vaidya ji. We called him as a Vikas Dada. He's corporate and international consulting, engineer and management professional with 27 plus years experience, including 15 years of as a senior manager at the Tata Group and 12 years as a consultant to the Ministry of Strategic Industries, Government of Indonesia. Multilingual expertise, fluent in Hindi, English, Marathi, Indonesian, Malay, and Spanish, subtitled and transferred over 15 Indian feature films for Indonesian and Malaysian markets. Gita and Scriptural Scholarship, Geeta Pariwar trainer L1 to L4 and mentor who has trained over 500 aspirants for the Sringeri Sarda Pit Gita examination. Recite all 18 chapters daily since last 7 years. Continuous award and recognitions. First prize in the Sringeri Sarda Pit Bhagavad Gita contest examination by Jagat Guru Shankaracharya 2018. Public outreach daily Marathi newspaper columnist on applied Gita wisdom. International speaker featured on Sydney Radio and FM Radio Ambala. Conducts Gita Parayan programs globally, notable in Sydney and London. So please welcome Shri Vikas Vaidya ji.
जय श्री कृष्ण टू ऑल वार्म वेलकम टू ऑल ऑफ यू पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन we'll conclude sixth अध्याय today आत्म संयम योग we'll start with श्लोक 33 Arjuna is asking a question which is there in mind of all of us. He asks यो यं योगस्त्वया प्रोक्तः साम्येन मधुसूदन एतस्य अहं न पश्यामि चञ्चलत्वा स्थितिं स्थिराम्. He says, Madhusudana, the yoga of equanimity that you have described, it seems difficult to maintain because the mind is so restless. Chanchalatva sthitim siram, man is so chanchal. Tvaya means by you, prokta means spoken or taught by you. Samyana, the equanimity. Etasya, of this, aham, I, na pashyami, I don't see. Chanchalatvat, because of restlessness, sthitim, stability. Sthiram, steady, mind, firm. So Arjuna now does something very important for us. He challenges the teaching with an honest, practical question. He has no doubt about the teachings of Lord Krishna, but he has some serious doubt about it. Shri Krishna has described a magnificent state wherein one should have equal vision, equanimity, seeing the divine everywhere, treating others like oneself, Atmopamena Sarvatra, that we studied, remaining inwardly balanced. So Arjuna's response is essentially, all this sounds wonderful, Shri Krishna. But how can an ordinary human being actually do it, put it in practice? सुनने के लिए बहुत अच्छा लगता है, but how to put it in practice? This is a question many of us will definitely have in mind. That reading Gita is so easy, but bringing it in day-to-day life, how to bring it? We understand intellectually that we should remain calm, compassionate, and detached. Okay, understood. But when someone insults us, when something goes wrong, or when fear arises, the mind immediately reacts. Do we remember Gita message that time? Arjuna therefore says, Chanchalatvat. Because of its restless nature, the mind constantly keeps moving. It moves towards the past. Why did this happen? Going to the past. It moves to the future. What will happen now? It moves towards desires. I want this. It moves forward to the fears. What if this happens? Arjuna's honesty is valuable. Spiritual teaching should not pretend that transformation is easy. No one should claim that I read Gita and I transform myself easily. Not so easy. He's essentially asking Shri Krishna, give me a practical method to deal with the mind which is restless. And the next two shlokas provide Shri Krishna's famous answer, which we should all meditate upon. The key lesson of this shloka is understanding spiritual truth is one thing, making it stable part of our life is another thing. Arjuna asked the question every sincere seeker eventually asks, how do I actually control my mind? $1 million question. Let us see what goes further. Arjuna is further elaborating in the next shloka, saying that Chanchalam himana krishna pramadhi balvadhradam tasyahan nigraham manye vayor yasadushkaram. Krishna, the mind is indeed restless, turbulent, powerful, and obstinate. I consider controlling it as difficult as controlling the wind. Can we catch the wind? Impossible, no? So Arjuna is now comparing the mind with the wind. Arjuna's description of mind is extraordinarily accurate. He gives 4 characteristics of mind. Chanchalam, restless. The mind keeps jumping from one subject to another like a monkey jumping from one tree to another. Pramati, the turbulent. It can disturb our emotional peace. A small incident can generate anger, fear, or anxiety. Balavat, powerful. The mind can overpower our good intentions. We may decide, I will not lose my temper. Yet the next moment, the anger takes over because mind is powerful. Dhrudam, stubborn. Old habits are deeply established. They say old habits die hard. So mind is like that. We may intellectually know that what is right, but repeatedly fall into the same pattern. Arjuna therefore compares controlling the mind to controlling the wind. You cannot simply command the wind, stop here. Okay, will the wind stop taking your instructions? Similarly, we cannot command mind, stop thinking. Will the mind listen to your instructions? This is an important insight for all of us. The goal is not to violently suppress the mind. You cannot put a stone on your mind and say, chup better, don't say anything now, don't think. Instead, as Shri Krishna explains in the next sloka, the mind must be trained through abhyas, repeated practice. Abhyas means, and vairagya. Vairagya means detachment. So do not feel guilty because your mind wanders. Everybody's mind wanders. Even Swamis, sadhus, sant, their mind also wanders. Shri Krishna himself acknowledges that the mind is extraordinarily restless and difficult to control. The solution is patient training, not frustration. Now the famous answer comes from Shri Krishna in the next sloka. Śrī-Bhagavānuvaca asamśayam mahabaho manodurnigrahechalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena ca grihyate. Shri Krishna says, without doubt, asamśayam. Arjuna, what you say is perfectly right. Asamśayam. There is no doubt about what you said. Mighty Arjuna, Mahabaho Arjuna, the restless mind is difficult to control. I agree with you 100%. Shri Krishna says. But it can be brought. Only agreeing to the problem, then what is the God about it? God will not only agree with your problem, He will give a solution to it. So He gives the solution in the next line. He says, Krishna says, but it can be brought under control through constant practice, abhyas and vairagya, that is detachment. So this is perhaps the most practical answer Shri Krishna gives about mastering the mind. Or Shri Krishna agrees with Arjuna. Asamshayam, undoubtedly, you are right. Arjuna, you are right, undoubtedly. The mind is difficult to control. But then comes the hopeful too, but it can be trained. Krishna gives two tools for controlling the mind. One is abhyas, practice. Abhyas means repeated, sustained practice. For meditation, the mind wanders here and there, bring it back. Again, mind wanders, bring it again back. Again, mind wanders, bring it again back. Over time, the mind learns a new habit. It gets tired. That this fellow is not listening. He is bringing back again and again to the same place of meditation. So it gives up finally. Like when the body is totally tired with hard work, it goes to sleep instantly. Similarly, when the mind is tired of bringing back again and again to the same place, it gives up finally. And it remains there only where you want it to be. So the same principle applies to our life also. Anger arises, pause. Desire arises, observe. Fear arises, breathe. Deep breathing and reflect. Negative thought arises, question it. Why? Every repetition strengthens mental discipline. And second is vairagya, detachment. Vairagya does not mean abandoning the family, possessions, or responsibilities. It means reducing our psychological dependence upon them. We can love without clinging. It is possible, no? We can possess without being possessed. We can work for success without making our happiness entirely dependent upon success. Everyone works for success. But if we stop depending upon that success, then we have learned this Bhagavad Gita message. So the complete formula is Abhyas, it trains the mind to return. Vairagya teaches the mind what not to cling to. Together they create the freedom, Abhyas and Vairagya. So the key lesson is you cannot master the mind by force. Train it patiently through repeated practice and free it gradually through detachment. पहले अभ्यास करते जाइए and slowly put it into vairagya, detachment. So the central message of shlokas that we learned from 31 to 35, these 5 shlokas, 31st shloka taught us, see God everywhere. 32nd shloka taught us, treat others as yourself, Atma Upamena. 33rd shloka, it said, recognize the difficulty. 34th, what we discussed today, understand the restless mind. And 35th, God says, use practice and detachment, abhyas and vairagya. So the ultimate formula for controlling the mind is abhyas plus vairagya is equal to mastery of mind, mathematics. Abhyas plus vairagya is equal to mastery of mind. And this is one of the most practical teachings of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Do not fight your mind. Do not hate your mind. Do not give up because it wanders here and there and you are unable to control it. Train it patiently. Detach it from unnecessary cravings. Bring it repeatedly towards the divine. Eventually, the mind that once behaved like an enemy becomes, as Krishna taught earlier in earlier shlokas 5th and 6th, it can become your greatest friend. उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानं आत्मानं साधयेत् आत्मव्यात्मनो बन्धुर आत्मैवब्रुवत्ना बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्य येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्य शत्रुत्वे वर्धेत आत्मैव शत्रुवत्. So Krishna has already taught us how the mind can be your worst enemy or the best friend. So with the Abhyas and Vairagya, we convert our worst enemy into our best friend. That is the magic of Gita. Now these 2 shlokas we should definitely meditate upon. These 2 shlokas are ideal for practical meditation because Arjuna openly admits the difficulty of controlling the mind, which all of us have this difficulty. And Krishna gives the solution, Abhyas, repeated practice, and Vairagya, detachment. So let us do meditation on these 2 shlokas. Shlok number 34. Chanchalam na Krishna pramati balo dridam tasya nigram manye vayurusya dushkaram and asamshayam mahabaho manodurnigrahichalam abhyasena tukante vairagrani grihyate. Arjuna asks, Krishna, my mind is restless, turbulent, powerful, and stubborn. Controlling it seems as difficult as controlling the wind. Okay, Shri Krishna replies, yes, it is difficult, asamshayam. But it can be controlled through practice and detachment, abhyas and vairagya. So let us start meditation. First 10 to 15, we will, first step of meditation, we should prepare ourselves. For a couple of minutes, sit comfortably in a quiet place. Keep your back reasonably straight, not very tight, but reasonably straight. Head and neck aligned, hands relaxed. Close your eyes gently. Take 3 slow, natural breaths. Do not try to force the mind to become silent. Tell yourself, I am here to observe my mind, not to fight with it. In next step, observe the mind for 3-4 minutes. Allow thoughts to come naturally. Do not try to stop any thoughts. Notice how the mind moves. It moves from past to future, future to desire, desire to maybe worries, worries to maybe memory, memories to maybe planning. It keeps wandering here and there. Simply observe where the mind is going. Now silently recall Arjuna's words. Chanchalam himana Krishna. Indeed, the mind is restless. Accept this without frustration. Say mentally, it is natural for my mind to wander. Nothing exceptional in this. In the next stage, recognize your personal wind. For 2 minutes, 3 minutes, recognize your personal wind. Personal wind means ask yourself gently, what usually makes my mind restless? Perhaps it is worry about the future. memories of the past, anger, desire, fear, relationships, money, health, expectations, or unfinished work. Do not analyze these thoughts. Simply observe that this is what my mind is attracted to. So you are beginning to become the observer of your mind rather than its slave. We should not be slave of our mind, we should be observer of our mind. In the next stage, practice abhyas. 3 minutes, practice abhyas. Now choose one anchor, which Krishna has said abhyas. It could be your breath. It could be Om, chanting of Om mentally only. It could be any divine name. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, whatever divine name. A mantra or Shri Krishna's form in front of your eyes. Holding a flute in his hand. Pleasant smile on his face. Like that, Shri Krishna's picture in front of you, bring it in front of your mind. For example, inhale Om, exhale Shri Krishna, Om, Shri Krishna, Om, Shri Krishna. Inhaling Om, exhaling Shri Krishna. This is just an example. Or simply observe in and out. In and out. What observe? Inhaling and outgoing. Soon the mind will wander. When you will notice, do not blame, do not become irritated that mind is not staying stable at this place. It is wandering here and there. Don't get frustrated, don't get irritated. Simply say, come back. Simply say, come back. Return to the breath or to the mantra that you are chanting. It may happen 20 times that mind goes and you say, come back. It goes, you say, come back. It may happen even 100 times. Return 100 times. Have patience. Then returning is abhyas. This returning again and again is our abhyas, which we have to compulsorily, necessarily, essentially do. The victory is not keeping the mind away from wandering. The victory is bringing it back whenever it wanders. That is our victory in dhyana. In the next step, we try the next tool Krishna is given, Vairagya. Now observe a thought or a desire without following it. Just observe. Suppose the thought comes to your mind, I must solve this problem. Instead of following it, say, not now, no thinking now. Suppose the anger arises in your mind, I notice the anger, but I don't have to act on it. Say it to yourself. Suppose the desire arises in your mind, say to yourself, I can experience desire without obeying it. I am noticing the desire coming into my mind, but it's not necessary that I should obey this desire. Suppose worry arises in your mind. You can say mentally to yourself, I will deal with it when action is required, not now. This is Vairagya. This is Vairagya. Vairagya does not mean I don't care. This is not Vairagya. It means I care, but I am not controlled by it. In the next step, bring the mind towards Sri Krishna. Spend 3, 4, 5 minutes in this. Mentally repeat, Oh Krishna, my mind is restless, but I will continue practicing. Then I will do my duty sincerely without unnecessary attachment to the result. Allow the mind to rest in the divine name. If thoughts arise, do not fight with them. Abhyas, bring the mind back. Vairagya, don't cling to the thought. Abhyas is to bring the mind back, and Vairagya is don't cling to the thought. Again and again, keep on repeating this. In the next step, end with this reflection. Do it for a minute or so. Before opening your eyes, contemplate. Say to yourself mentally, I cannot control every thought that enters my mind, but I can choose which thoughts I follow. I don't follow every thought. I cannot prevent the winds of life, but I can make my mind steady like a protected flame. Through Abhyas and Vairagya, I can gradually become the master of my mind. Take one deep breath, slowly open your eyes. See, Krishna has given two pillars in this shloka. Two-word description he has given: Abhyas, bring the mind back again and again, and Vairagya, do not cling to whatever the mind brings to. Together, Abhyas teaches the mind wherever it goes. Abhyas teaches mind where to go. It goes there, bring it back. Here you have to go, not there. So Abhyas teaches you where the mind should go. And Vairagya teaches the mind what not to cling to. And the most important messages of this 34th and 35th shloka is, you do not have to conquer your mind in one day. You cannot do it. Every time you patiently bring it back and refuse to be controlled by its impulses, you have taken one step towards mastery. So this makes these two shlokas, 34th and 35th, an especially powerful meditation for everyday life. Not just for meditation cushion, but for our everyday life. Next shloka, 36th. असंयतात्मना योगो दुष्परापैति मे मतिः वश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यो वाप्तुमुपायतः. Shri Krishna says, in my opinion, yoga is difficult to attain for one whose mind is uncontrolled, asanyatatmana. But for one who has mastered his mind and strives for the proper means, it is certainly attainable. Vashyatmana tu yata shakyo vaptumupayatah. Having explained the two essential methods, Abhyas and Vairagya, now Shri Krishna gives Arjuna great encouragement. He says, the yoga is not impossible. It is difficult only for the undisciplined mind. For one who sincerely strives with proper method, Abhyas and Vairagya, success is guaranteed, is assured. This shloka fills every devotee like us with a great hope directly from Lord Krishna. So this shloka completes Shri Krishna's answer to Arjuna's concern about the restless mind. Arjuna had said the mind is as difficult to control as the wind. Krishna agreed, asamshyam mahabhav. But he immediately gave the solution: practice and detachment, Abhyas and Vairagya. Now he concludes by saying, success depends upon training the mind. The first important word is asanyatatmana. It refers to a person who allows the mind to control the life. Such a person becomes slave to anger, to greed, to fear, to laziness, to jealousy, and endless desires, kamana. Meditation becomes difficult because the mind refuses to remain peaceful even for a few moments. Shri Krishna says that for such a person, yoga is dushprapa, very difficult. Notice that he does not say it is impossible. He says it is difficult, not impossible. He simply says that our uncontrolled mind creates unnecessary obstacles in your dhyan, in your meditation. Then comes the encouraging part of the statement. Vashyatmanatu yatata. But for one who strives sincerely and gradually, he masters the mind. Yoga is shakya, certainly attainable. Shri Krishna does not promise success for a lazy one, nor does he demand perfection from us. He promises success to the sincere devotee who continues making steady efforts, yatata. The word upayatah is also significant. It means through proper means. Success in spiritual life requires following a correct method, which we learn in Geeta. The Geeta has already explained these methods. Moderation in food and sleep, yukta ahara vyarasya, you will learn that shloka. Regular meditation, selfless action, devotion to God, constant practice, abhyas, detachment, vairagya, and purification of mind. For family people like us, this shloka is full of hope. Many householders think spiritual realization is only for monks. Yogi sadhu ke liye, hamare liye nahi hai. Shri Krishna completely rejects that idea. He says, no, you're wrong. He says that any sincere person who disciplines the mind and follows the proper path can attain yoga. You don't have to be a monk or a yogi or sadhu. Whether one is a parent, whether he's a teacher or doctor or business person or a student, the path remains open for everybody, all segments of life. God judges not our profession, but our sincerity. The greatest obstacle is not the world, it is the undisciplined mind that is the greatest obstacle. The greatest helper is not external comfort, it is consistent spiritual effort. A music teacher had two students. One possessed natural talent but practiced only occasionally. The other had average ability but practiced faithfully every day. After 2 years, the second student became the better musician. Someone asked the teacher, how did this happen? That first fellow was very talented. The second was ordinary, but he has become better musician than him. The teacher replied, talent opens the door, but discipline walks through it. Talent opens the door, yes, but discipline walks through that door. Spiritual life follows the same principle. Gita has opened the door to us. It is for us to follow the discipline and walk through this door. So a person with ordinary abilities but extraordinary perseverance progresses further than one who relies only on inspiration. Shri Krishna teaches that steady effort is stronger than occasional enthusiasm. The practical lessons for us: develop regular spiritual habits instead of depending on inspiration. Master your mind before trying to change others. Follow a disciplined daily routine. Never underestimate small, consistent efforts. Encourage family members through patience rather than criticism. And remember that sincerity is more important than perfection. Sincerity. Trust that every sincere effort is noticed by God. So this shloka reminds us that lasting success, whether spiritual success or professional success or personal success, depends on consistent habit. Families can apply this teaching by maintaining a fixed time for prayer or meditation. Write down on a piece of paper that I will do this. Maintaining a fixed time for prayer or meditation, eating and sleeping at regular times, reducing unnecessary digital distractions, which are many these days, encouraging children to practice regularly instead of studying only before the exam, building family traditions centered on gratitude, service, and scriptures like Gita. When discipline becomes a shared family value, both worldly success and spiritual growth flourish together. Next shloka. Arjunam Hayati Shraddhayopeto Yogacharitamansah Aprapyoga Samsiddhim Kangatim Krishna Gacchati. Another very important question Arjuna is asking. He says, oh Krishna, what happens to a person who has faith, Shraddha, but lacks sufficient self-control, whose mind wanders away from yoga and who fails to attain perfection in yoga? What is his destiny? योगा अभ्यास शुरू किया, अच्छी बात है, बढ़िया है, but before he could attain the perfection, time has gone. He got distracted from somewhere to somewhere. This is one of the most compassionate and reassuring question in Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is not asking something about a evil person or a sinner. He is asking for a common person like us. He is asking about a sincere spiritual seeker who begins the journey with faith, Shraddha, but due to weakness or distraction is unable to complete it. This question has comforted millions of seekers for centuries. Everybody has this question. I am late in learning Gita. What will happen to me now? I have left it half. What will happen? Will I have to start from zero in my next life? So after hearing that success in yoga requires continuous efforts and discipline, Arjuna now asks a question that arises naturally in every seeker's mind. What if I fail? Procedure is understood. I have deep faith in that. I have started the journey according to the prescription given in Gita by Shri Krishna. But what if I fail? This is not a question born out of laziness, it is born out of sincerity. That's really I'm trying, but I fail. Arjuna imagines a person who possesses Shraddha, deep faith in God and the spiritual path. Such a person begins meditation, prayer, selfless service, righteous living, everything starts. However, because of old habits, worldly responsibilities, or restless mind, he cannot maintain steady practice. Eventually, his mind becomes distracted and he fails to attain complete realization during this lifetime and the life goes off. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Arjuna asks, what happens to such a seeker who gives up his life without attaining the perfection? This question reflects tremendous compassion. He is concerned not only for himself but for all spiritual aspirants. Many people hesitate to begin spiritual practice because they fear failure. Already I'm 60 years, कितनी जिंदगी बाकी है अभी 10-15 साल, I will not be able to attain anything, so better I not start it. They wonder, what if I cannot meditate properly? What if I become distracted? What if I never reach perfection? Will all my efforts be wasted? Arjuna voices these very fears in his question. This is why this question remains relevant even today. For family people like us, this concern is especially meaningful. Householders often struggle to balance family responsibilities, professional work, health, financial pressure, plus spiritual practice. सब साथ में कैसे करें? Sometimes meditation becomes irregular. Sometimes enthusiasm declines. Sometimes worldly duties demand most of their attention. Spiritual sadhana takes a backseat. Shri Krishna's answer in the following shlokas is one of the most encouraging teachings in the entire Bhagavad-Gītā. It gives a great confidence. He will explain that no sincere spiritual effort is ever lost. Every prayer, every act of kindness, every moment of meditation, every repetition of God's name, Namasmaran, and every attempt to live according to Dharma leaves a permanent spiritual impression. Nothing is wasted. Thus, before Shri Krishna answers, Arjuna asks the question that every sincere seeker secretly carries within the heart. We also carry, no? If I don't attain perfection, moksha in this life, where do I go in my next life? A young girl was learning to plant trees. After watering a small sapling for several months, her family had to move to another town. She sadly told her grandfather, all my work has gone waste. A year later, they visited the old village. The tiny sapling had grown into a healthy young tree. The grandfather smiled and said, growth continues even when you cannot see it. He then added, every good action, every prayer, every effort to become a better person, it is like planting a tree. You may not see the results immediately, but nothing done with sincerity is ever lost. The girl never forgot this lesson in life. So many people today begin spiritual discipline with enthusiasm, but later struggle because of busy schedules, illness, family responsibilities, or emotional stress sometimes. This shloka teaches us we should absorb this meaning very deep in our heart, in our mind, in our thoughts, in our actions, that do not measure your spiritual life by occasional setbacks. Setbacks comes in everybody's life. Resume your practice after interruptions without guilt. Without guilt. Create a supportive spiritual atmosphere at home. Celebrate consistency rather than perfection. And remember that even a few sincere minutes of daily prayer are valuable. You cannot meditate for 1 hour. Okay, jane do. 10 minutes. Don't break the habit. Reduce the time if you don't have time. But don't leave the assignment totally. Do it partly. God gives us the direction of the heart more than he values the direction of our heart rather than the flawless performance that we do. Everybody has flaws in his performance. But are we doing it seriously? So do not fear failure over the spiritual path. The greatest failure is not falling behind, it is giving up. Every sincere effort towards God, however small, becomes an eternal treasure for us. Arjuna's question is our question, and Krishna's answer in the coming shlokas will assure us not to act, that no act of genuine faith, Shraddha, genuine devotion, Bhakti, or meditation, Dhyan, is ever lost. What we are discussing now is going to help us in our next life also. Next shloka. Arjuna further elaborates by asking, Kachinno bhaya vibrashta chinna brahmanashati apratishto mahabaho vimudo brahmanapati. So now Arjuna is asking a question. He is elaborating further on his previous shloka, saying that, O mighty armed Krishna, is written in the compliment which Shri Krishna has made to Arjuna in different shlokas of Gita, calling him Mahabaho. Now Arjuna is calling Shri Krishna as Mahabaho, the mighty armed Krishna. Does such a person, having fallen from both worldly success and spiritual attainment, perish like a fragmented cloud without any support, confused on the path of Brahma? So this shloka, Arjuna continues his heartfelt concern from previous shloka. He fears for the destiny of a sincere devotee who begins the spiritual journey but fails to attain perfection before death. Uske pehle ho gaya Ram Naam Satya. He started the practice but could not complete it. Arjuna asks whether such a person loses both the pleasure and achievements of worldly life, material life, and the highest goal of spiritual realization. न घर का न घाट का, ऐसा हुआ क्या उसका? This question reflects a very human fear in our mind. What if I sacrifice worldly success for spirituality and yet fail to attain God? I don't get anything in spirituality, I don't attain God, and I have lived the material life already. I have sacrificed worldly success. So worldly success bhi gaya aur God bhi nahi mila. What do I gain then? So Arjuna now expresses his deepest anxiety using a beautiful and touching metaphor. He compares the unsuccessful spiritual seeker to a cloud separated from the main body of the clouds. We see in the sky many times, no? One small piece of cloud is wandering somewhere. From where it has come, God knows. And then it disappears suddenly. A detached cloud appears to drift aimlessly across the sky. Eventually, it seems to disappear without reaching any destination. Kahan gayab ho jata pata nahi. Arjuna wonders, does the spiritual seeker meet the same fate like that cloud which is separated from the main clouds and then disappears somewhere, nowhere? Suppose someone begins the path of yoga. He gives up many worldly pleasures. He spends time in meditation, prayer, and self-discipline. If he had not spent time on this, he would have enjoyed material life. But he sacrificed material life, worldly life, and spent time in meditation, prayer, self-discipline. Yet, before attaining self-realization, the life ends for him. Tragedy. Has he lost everything that he has done? His meditation, his prayers, his scripture ready? Has he missed both worldly enjoyment and spiritual perfection? This is the meaning of Ubhaya Vibhrashta. One who has seemingly fallen away from both the paths. Ubhaya Vibhrashta. Idhar bhi nahi, udhar bhi nahi. Arjuna's concern is profound because it reflects a fear of a common man which he has in mind. That if I start spirituality, but I don't attain God, then I have sacrificed my material life also, and I'm not getting God also. What happens to me then? People often hesitate to commit themselves to spiritual life because they wonder will I lose worldly opportunities? What if I cannot complete my spiritual journey? Will my efforts be wasted? Arjuna gives voice to these fears on behalf of entire humanity. Notice also the word apratishtha, without foundation. Arjuna fears that such a person may belong nowhere, no longer fully attached to worldly life, yet not fully established in God. तो कहाँ गया फिर? He seems suspended between the two worlds, hanging between the two worlds, no material world and no spiritual world. This question is especially meaningful for family people like us. Many householders attempt to balance the career, family, social responsibilities, and spiritual practice as well. Sometimes they feel they are not giving enough attention to either side. Arjuna reassures such people that these concerns are natural. Arjuna also had the same doubt which we have. So we are no inferior than Arjuna, isn't it? He has asked the question on our way up to Krishna. Now let us see what Krishna Bhagavan says. So Arjuna's question prepares the way for one of the most encouraging assurances in the entire Bhagavad Gita. In the next few shlokas, Shri Krishna will remove this fear completely. He will declare that no sincere spiritual effort is ever wasted. Not even a single step taken towards God disappears. Every effort becomes a permanent spiritual asset for us. A mountaineer, mountain climber, he had reached the halfway to summit when heavy snowfall forced him to return. He felt like a failure. Months later, he returned with great experience. To his surprise, he realized that the path he had climbed earlier had made the second journey much easier because he had the experience of that typhoon. His guide smiled at him and he said, "You did not begin from the bottom this time. Your previous effort remained with you." The guide then added, "Life is like climbing this mountain. Every sincere effort becomes part of your strength. Nothing is ever lost." This is precisely the truth that Shri Krishna is about to reveal. So never fear that sincere spiritual effort is getting wasted. Progress seems slow, but every effort leaves a lasting impression. Balance family responsibilities and spiritual practice without guilt. Avoid comparing your progress with others. Continue your journey patiently, trusting God's guidance, and encourage perseverance in yourself and in your family. So many people today begin spiritual discipline but later become discouraged because of the work pressure or family commitments or illness or interruptions. This shloka teaches us to be honest about these concerns while continuing our efforts. Parents can especially reassure their children that every honest effort matters. Temporary setbacks are not permanent failures. Character develops gradually. God values sincerity more than the outward success. So these lessons build resilience not only in the spiritual life, but also in our education, in our career, and in our relationships. Next, Arjuna continues, Etanme samshayam Krishna chittumarhasya sheshatah tadanyas samshayasya chitta nayyupapadyate. Krishna, please completely remove this doubt of mine. For besides you, no one is capable of dispelling this doubt. So this shloka reveals the beautiful relationship between Guru and Shishya, Guru and disciple. After asking his question in previous shlokas, Arjuna now returns to Krishna with a complete confidence. He says, "Please remove my doubt completely." Notice that Arjuna does not ask for a partial answer. He says, Krishna removes his confusion. Asheshataha, kuch shesh mat rakho. Entirely remove the doubt. This is the attitude of a sincere seeker. Half understood truth often creates greater confusion. Therefore, Arjuna seeks complete clarity. The Bhagavad Gita repeatedly emphasizes that doubt, samshaya, is one of the greatest obstacles of spiritual progress. So don't leave any samshaya in your mind. Faith does not mean refusing to ask questions. Instead, faith means asking questions with humility, namrata, and a genuine desire to understand, not to show off your knowledge, but a genuine desire to understand. Arjuna demonstrates this perfectly. He does not argue. He does not challenge Krishna out of pride. He asks respectfully because he truly wants to know the truth. The second half of the slok is deeply moving. Other than you, no one can remove this doubt. It is not blind dependence. Arjuna has already witnessed Sri Krishna's wisdom, his compassion, and his divine nature. Therefore, he knows that Krishna alone can provide the complete answer to his doubt, his question. For us, this teaches the importance of seeking guidance from authentic source. In today's world, information is abundant. Everybody on WhatsApp knows everything he knows about their life, everything he knows about Geeta also. He is using WhatsApp. But wisdom is rare. Information is abundant, but wisdom is rare. Many options create, rather many opinions, they create confusion rather than clarity. The Bhagavad Gita advises us to seek guidance from those who possess both knowledge and spiritual realization. For family people, this shloka teaches another valuable lesson. Whenever confusion arises in family life, important decisions should not be made in haste or under emotional pressure. Instead, we should seek wisdom, pray sincerely, study the scripture, consult trustworthy elders or teachers, and then act with calmness. The greatest strength is not pretending to know everything. It is having the humility to ask the right guidance. Arjuna's question also reminds us that honest doubts are not obstacles. They are opportunities for deeper understanding, provided we seek answers with sincerity. In the very next shloka, Shri Krishna begins with the most encouraging assurances in Gita. No sincere spiritual effort is ever lost. A young engineer, he joined a large company. On the very first day, he encountered a complex machine that had stopped working. Instead of pretending to know the solution, he approached the senior engineer and said, I understand part of the problem, but I need your guidance. The senior engineer smiled. You have already shown the most important qualification. The young man asked, what qualification? The humility to ask before making a mistake. This is a great qualification. Years later, he himself became a respected mentor. He often told new engineers, questions asked with sincerity prevent years of confusion. Spiritual life follows the same principle. A person who sincerely seeks wisdom grows faster than the one who hides behind false confidence. On the face of it, he shows he has understood everything. Perfect. Okay, understood everything. Actually, he has not understood. Instead of pretending to understand everything, better to ask question and get it clarified. Next shloka. Now God is replying to Arjuna's questions. Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā पार्थनेवेह नामुत्रो विनाशस्य विद्यते नहि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. Arjuna, Partha, neither in this world nor in the next is there any destruction for such a person. My dear son, one who performs righteous and noble actions never comes to a bad end. So this shloka is one of the most reassuring and hope-giving promises in entire Bhagavad Gita. It is Lord Krishna's direct answer to Arjuna's fear expressed in earlier shlokas. Arjuna feared that an unsuccessful yogi might lose both worldly success and spiritual progress. Krishna immediately removes that fear with a firm assurance no sincere spiritual effort is ever wasted. After listening patiently to Arjuna's fear, now Lord Shri Krishna responds with words filled with compassion. Notice how he addresses Arjuna. Instead of merely saying Arjuna, he says Tata. Tata means my dear friend, my dear child. Tata means my dear child. This affectionate expression reveals not only Shri Krishna's role as a teacher, but also his boundless love for every sincere devotee. Shri Krishna's first assurance is Neveha Namuttara Vinashaha. There is no destruction either in this world or in the next. So what learning of Gita we are doing in this life is going to help us in the next life as well. This means that every sincere effort made towards God, every prayer made for God, every act of selfless service, every moment of meditation, every repetition of divine name, and every effort to live according to dharma becomes a permanent spiritual treasure for us. Unlike material possessions, which can be lost, spiritual merit never disappears. The second assurance is equally powerful. Nai kalyan kut kashchit durgatin tata gacchati. No one who performs noble actions ever comes to a bad end. Uski durgati kabhi nahi hoti. This does not mean that good people never face difficulties in life. They do. Even great saints experience illness. Many saints face cancer also. They face opposition in life. They face hardships in life. Shri Krishna refers to ultimate destiny of the soul, not temporary worldly circumstances. Every righteous action purifies the mind and brings the soul closer to the God. Nothing done with sincere devotion is ever wasted. For family people like us, this shloka brings immense comfort. Parents often wonder whether the values they teach to their children will bear fruits. A person caring for elderly parents may wonder whether the sacrifice is worthwhile. Someone serving society honestly may feel unnoticed. Shri Krishna assures us that every noble action has lasting value, whether or not the world recognizes it. Goodness is never wasted. Prayer is never washed or wasted. Love is never wasted. Service is never wasted. Even if immediate results are not visible, that doesn't mean it has gone best. The soul grows stronger through every righteous action. This shloka encourages us never to lose heart. Keep reading Gita every day. God remembers every sincere effort, even when the world forgets it. A farmer planted hundreds of mango saplings. For several years, they produced no fruits. His neighbors mocked him. You have wasted your time. The farmer smiled and continued caring for the trees. Years later, the orchard produced thousands of sweet mangoes every season, feeding countless families. One neighbor asked, how did you remain patient? The farmer replied, I was not growing fruit, I was growing trees. Once the tree becomes strong, the fruit comes naturally. Spiritual life is just like that. Every prayer, every act of kindness, every sacrifice, and every honest effort strengthens the root of the soul. The fruits appear in God's perfect time. So, parents may feel their values are ignored by the family members. Teachers may feel unappreciated. Honest professionals may see dishonest people advancing faster than them. This shloka teaches us to focus on faithfulness on the rather than the immediate success. As a family, continue practicing honesty, continue serving others, continue praying together, continue living according to dharma. The results may not appear immediately, but they become part of family spiritual inheritance. Next shloka. Prapya purnakrita lokan shritva shashvati samaha shuchinam Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā yoga bhrashto vijayate. God says, having attained the worlds of righteous and having dwelt there upon for many years, the one who has fallen from yoga is called yoga bhrashta, is reborn in the home of pure and prosperous people. So this shloka begins Lord Krishna's detailed answer to Arjuna's question. About the fate of Yoga Bhrashta, who started Yoga Sadhana with faith but could not complete it, and their life ended before that. A sincere seeker who begins the spiritual path but does not attain complete realization in one lifetime. Shri Krishna's answer is filled with hope. He declares that spiritual progress is never lost. Every sincere effort continues to bear fruit even beyond death. So Lord Krishna now removes Arjuna's fear completely with this shloka. The seeker who fails to attain complete realization does not suffer destruction. Instead, he receives the result of both his spiritual effort and his virtuous actions. Shri Krishna first says that such a soul reaches the world attained by the righteous. Punyakrut Lokan, that means Swargaloka. This indicates that the accumulated merit of sincere living is never lost. आपने जो पुण्य कमाया है, it never goes lost. After enjoying the fruits of those merits, that punya karma, the soul is reborn in circumstances that are favorable for continuing the spiritual journey which he had begun in his last life. So he enjoys some time in heaven, comes back to a family and continues the spiritual journey. Nothing is lost. Shri Krishna specifically mentions two qualities of such a life where he gets the birth. Shushinam, a pure family. This refers to a home where truth, honesty, self-discipline, devotion, and moral values are respected. That is Shushinam family. Children born in such an environment, they naturally receive noble impression, noble samskars. Prayers, service, respect for elders, and righteous conduct become a part of their daily life because the family itself is Shushinam. Shrimatam, this is the second qualification, prosperous family. Prosperity here does not mean praise for luxury here. Rather, Shri Krishna points out that reasonable material security allows the seeker to pursue education, self-development, and spiritual practice without constant struggle for survival. Thus, both the moral purity and material stability become helpful conditions for spiritual growth. This shloka also teaches the law of continuity of spiritual evolution. Geeta believes in Punarjanma. Death does not erase the spiritual progress. Impressions, that means samskars, from one life to another. This explains why some children show extraordinary compassion, wisdom, devotion, or attraction to spiritual life from a very, very young age. In Gita Pariwar, we have children of 3 years of age who can recite all 700 shlokas of Gita. From where did it come? Past samskars. They were yoga bhrashta, yogis of previous life. They have continued their spiritual journey. So for family people, this verse, this shloka has profound significance. Parents who cultivate a home filled with love, truth, prayer, and righteous living are creating an environment where great souls may be born and flourish. A spiritually healthy home becomes a sacred inheritance for future generations. So when we are reading Gita in our home, we should understand that we are creating this inheritance for our future generations as well. Next shloka. अथवा योगिनामेव कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्दुर्लभतरं लोके जन्म यदीदृशम्. Or else, if it doesn't get birth in the Shushinam and Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā family, what happens? Or else, such a seeker is born in the family of wise yogis. Directly becomes a yogi, taking birth in a family of yogi. Such a birth is indeed very rare and most difficult to obtain in this world, Shri Krishna says. So this shloka continues Shri Krishna's answer about the destiny of that yoga bhrashta, one who could not complete the spiritual path in his previous life. In the earlier shloka, Shri Krishna said that such a soul may be born in a pure and prosperous family. Shujinam Shrimatange. Now he describes an even rarer and higher blessing, birth in the family of enlightened yogis and spiritually wise people. Shri Krishna now describes an even more favorable birth for an unfinished yogi, yoga bhrashta. Instead of being born merely into a good and prosperous family, some advanced seekers are born into the home of wise yogis. Why is this birth called Durlabhataram, extremely rare? Because in such a home, spiritual life is not an occasional activity. It is the very atmosphere in which the child grows. The child naturally learns prayers before speaking, gratitude before eating, compassion before judging, service before selfishness, meditation before distraction. In such a family, God is not merely discussed, He is remembered, loved, and worshipped daily. The child receives spiritual values almost effortlessly. So this shloka also explains why some children show remarkable spiritual tendencies from an early stage. Some discipline extraordinary devotion, natural attraction for meditation, love for scriptures, compassion for all beings, disinterest in excessive worldly pleasures. According to Shri Krishna, these are not accidental. They may reflect spiritual impressions, that means samskars, carried forward from their previous births. However, this shloka also teaches an important lesson for the present day families. One need not be born into an ancient lineage of saints to create such an atmosphere. Any family can gradually become a family of yogis if parents, they live honestly, pray together, read the Bhagavad-Gītā, respect elders, serve society, and practice forgiveness, kshama. Then they are creating exactly the kind of home Shri Krishna praises in this shloka. So thus this shloka is not merely about where we are born, it also inspires us to ask, what kind of family atmosphere am I creating for the next generation? For family people, this is one of the most greatest responsibilities. Most valuable inheritance is not the wealth that we leave behind, property or status we leave behind. It is the home filled with faith, filled with wisdom, filled with love, and filled with devotion, bhakti. Such an inheritance accompanies the soul long after material possessions are forgotten. Two brothers inherited different gifts from their fathers. One received a large amount of money, the other received a small library of spiritual books, along with the habit of daily prayers that his father had lovingly taught him. Years later, the first brother lost most of his wealth during difficult times. The second brother also faced hardships in his life, but the wisdom he had inherited gave him the courage, peace, clarity, and eventually he rebuilt his life and became a source of strength for many others. He often said, "My greatest inheritance was not what my father gave me to my hands, but what he planted in my heart." This is the inheritance Shri Krishna praises in this shloka. We'll go to next shloka quickly. Tatratam sanyogal lavate paurvadehikam yatate chatato bhuya samsiddhau kurunandana. There in that birth, O joy of Kuru dynasty, that means Arjuna, he regains the spiritual wisdom acquired in his previous life and inspired by those past samskar impressions and strives once again to attain perfection. So this shloka explains how the spiritual journey continues across lifetimes, from life to life. Lord Shri Krishna assures Arjuna that the yoga bhrashta, the seeker who could not complete the path in his previous life, does not begin from beginning again. It does not start from zero. If he has climbed 4 steps of the ladder, he starts from the 4th step onward. He doesn't start from zero. Instead, spiritual wisdom and impressions accumulated earlier awaken naturally, enabling the seeker to continue the journey towards the God. It is like, if we have deposit in the bank or we have savings account in the bank, when the passbook ends, we say passbook has finished. Can you give us new passbook? Does the new passbook start with zero? It carries forward, no? From earlier passbook, whatever the balance. So in the earlier passbook, the balance is 50,000 rupees. The next passbook is start with 50,000 rupees onwards, no? Or will it from zero? Spiritual life is similar. Wherever we left in previous life, that passbook, it carried forward to the next life. So this shloka reveals one of the most encouraging principles in Gita. The soul never loses its spiritual education. Shri Krishna says that in a favorable new birth, the seeker regains the spiritual understanding developed in the previous lives. The phrase Buddhi Sanyogam is especially significant. It means a reconnection with the wisdom already earned. Buddhi Sanyogam. The knowledge is not newly created, it is remembered. Buddhi Sanyogam. Just as a musician who has not practiced for many years, he quickly regains skill after beginning again. The soul naturally reconnects with his previous spiritual attainments. You have learned swimming. For years you have not done swimming. The moment you get into the water, you start swimming. You don't forget that. This explains why some people, even in childhood, show remarkable inclinations. According to Shri Krishna, such tendencies may arise from samskar, the subtle impressions carried from our previous lives. The second half of the slok is equally inspiring for us. Shri Krishna says that the seeker again strives for perfection. Notice that Lord does not compel anyone. The soul voluntarily resumes the journey because the taste of spiritual joy experienced previously remains alive within him. He has tasted that happiness. For family people like us, this teaching has profound practical value. Every spiritual habit developed today becomes an investment in the future. The child who learns to pray is an investment for future. The adult who studies Gita is an investment for future. The person who serves selflessly is also an investment. And the devotees who meditate regularly are creating impressions, samskars that accompany the soul. Nothing is wasted, God says. So this shloka also teaches parents to respect the unique spiritual tendencies of their children. One child may naturally love music, another may love service, another may enjoy scripture studies. Rather than forcing every child into the same mold, parents should lovingly nurture each child's God-given inclination. सबने इंजीनियर बनना आवश्यक है क्या? Should everybody become doctor only? Spiritual education is not merely preparation for his lifetime, it is preparation for the soul's eternal journey. Next shloka. पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव ह्रियते यवशोऽपि सः जिज्ञासर्वयोगस्य शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते. Practice, he is irresistibly drawn towards yoga. Somebody calls Gita, Pariwar ka number ye hai. This is the site where you can start learning Gita. It starts. So he is drawn towards Gita. He is drawn towards yoga. Even against his own will. Sometimes he is not willing to even receive the call. But the earlier force from earlier life compels him to lift the phone once and log into learngeeta.com and learn Gita. So even a mere seeker of yoga, he rises above the ritualistic portion of the Vedas. Shabda Brahmati Vartate. So this shloka further explains the power of samskar, spiritual impressions accumulated through sincere practice in all our previous lives. Lord Shri Krishna assures Arjuna that no genuine spiritual effort is ever wasted. The momentum created in one life, it continues into the next, naturally drawing the seeker back towards God. He may try to run away from God, but his samskar will force him to go back to God. Lord Shri Krishna now explains why spiritual impressions are so powerful. He says that previous practice, Purvabhyas, what he has done in his previous lives, it becomes an inner force that gently but steadily draw the soul back to God's. The remarkable phrase is Riyate ya avoshupisaha. The seeker is drawn almost involuntarily. This does not mean that free will disappear. He is not forced, but he gets drawn automatically, without efforts. It means that attraction towards spiritual life becomes natural for him. Just as a person who has once experienced the beauty of music is naturally attracted to it again, the soul that has once tasted the joy of meditation naturally seeks it again. This explains why some people, despite growing in ordinary surroundings, suddenly develop love for Bhagavad-Gītā. Some prisoners, we teach Gita to some prisoners, they suddenly develop love for Gita. From where it has come? Their total background is criminal background. But in past life, they might have studied Gita or some samskar they have. They get attracted towards sense, joy in chanting God's name, interest in meditation. Many prisoners, they are mad about meditation now. In every session, they say, insist, so meditation karaiye. So the inner call comes from previous spiritual efforts. The second half of the shloka contains a profound statement from Krishna. Jidnyasarupi yogasya shabda brahmati vartate. A sincere seeker of yoga goes beyond Shabda Brahma. Here Shabda Brahma refers to primarily to the ritualistic and ceremonial aspects of Vedas. He crosses over all that, performed mainly for worldly prosperity and heavenly rewards, Sakam Karma. Krishna is not rejecting Vedas here. Rather, he teaches that the sincere yogi seeks direct realization of God, which is the ultimate purpose of Vedas themselves. The journey progression from hearing about God, studying the scriptures, performing rituals, finally experience the God directly. So he experiences the God directly. For family people, this shloka carries an important lesson. Rituals are valuable. Yes, they are, when they deepen the devotion and transform the character. However, if rituals become mechanical and fail to inspire love, compassion, self-control, and remembrance of God, their deeper purpose is lost. गीता का उच्चारण आ गया, हमको गीता पढ़ने आ गई, we have got so many certificates, we have passed this exam, that exam. Have you understood Gita? Have you tried to bring it in your life? The highest worship is not merely performing ceremonies, but allowing them to transform the heart. Is it transforming your heart? That is the test, whether we have learned Gita or not. A young woman had learned classical music as a child, but stopped practicing for nearly 20 years because of family responsibilities. One day, while attending a concert, she heard a familiar raga. Without thinking, she softly began singing along. Her husband was surprised. Hurry, you know this raga? I did not know you still remember this. She smiled. She said, I also thought that I have forgotten. But the music had never really left my life. The same is true with spiritual life. Every sincere prayer, every verse, every shloka memorized, every act of devotion, and every meditation leaves a melody within our soul. वो म्यूजिक सुनाई देता है अगले जन्म में भी. When the right moment comes, that divine melody begins to play again. Next shloka. प्रयत्नाद्यतमानस्तु योगी संसिद्ध किल्बिषः अनेकजन्म संसिद्धस्ततो याति परां गतिम्. Krishna says, but the yogi who strives diligently, purified of all sins and perfected through many births, finally attains the supreme goal. Yati parangatim. This shloka completes Shri Krishna's reassuring answer to Arjuna's question about the destiny of a yoga bhrasht. The yogi who left his yoga sadhana incomplete in one life, he continues his journey through many lives. He continues, life after life he continues, till he ultimately attains the supreme. The Lord now reveals the profound truth. Spiritual realization is a gradual journey that may extend across many lifetimes. We started learning Gita in this life and we get moksha in this life. God says, ऐसा नहीं होता है. You will continue your journey for many lives. Be ready for that. But ultimately you will gain me definitely. That is without any doubt. Sincere effort always leads to the supreme goal, which we continue life after life. There is no failure on the spiritual path. Only continued progress is there on the spiritual path. So this sloka is one of the most encouraging declarations by Shri Krishna in Gita. Shri Krishna teaches that spiritual life is not a race, but it's a journey. Race नहीं कोई जीता कोई हारा. It's a journey. Every sincere effort contributes to the soul's gradual purification. The sloka begins with Prayatnadhyata. Earnest effort. Grace is indispensable. But Shri Krishna repeatedly emphasizes that grace does not replace your effort. The seeker must continue meditating, continue praying, continue serving others, studying the scriptures, controlling the senses, and performing duties selflessly. Even when progress appears slow, every sincere effort purifies the heart. Shri Krishna then says the yogi becomes samshiddham kilvishaha, free from inner impurities. Notice that he speaks not merely of external sins, but of the inner tendencies that produce them, these impurities. What are the impurities? Ego, anger, greed, jealousy, pride, hatred, attachment. These are all impurities. As these gradually weaken, the mind becomes a fit instrument for realizing the God. The phrase Aneka Janma Samsiddha is deeply significant. Aneka Janma Samsiddha. Perfection often requires many births. This should not discourage us. Instead, it should inspire patience in us. Just as a mighty banyan tree grows from a tiny seed over many years, spiritual greatness develops gradually through countless sincere efforts. Finally, Krishna declares, Yati Parangatim. The seeker certainly reaches the supreme goal, that means attains moksha, attains the God. There is no uncertainty in this. The destination is guaranteed for one who has perseverance. For family people, this shloka is especially comforting. Many householders feel, I cannot meditate for long. My mind is still becoming angry. I still make mistakes. Shri Krishna does not demand instant perfection. He says, Lage raho. He asks only for continuous efforts, continuous sincere efforts. Every attempt to become kinder, every act of forgiveness, every prayer, every honest day's work performed as worship, and every moment of remembrance of God, it purifies the heart. These small victories accumulate over time and eventually they lead us to liberation. A sculptor, he spent many months marble. Visitors often asked him, why are you striking the same stone every day? It does not seem to change. The sculptor, he smiled and continued working. After hundreds of careful blows, a magnificent statue, it emerged from that stone. Someone remarked, the last strike created the statue. The sculptor replied, no. The last strike only revealed what every previous strike had been preparing. Spiritual life is exactly like that. Every prayer, every meditation, every act of kindness, and every victory over anger, it shapes the soul. Nothing is wasted. One day, the divine image hidden within us shines forth. And that is for sure. So modern society often demands instant success. Shri Krishna teaches a very different principle. Lasting transformation requires patient perseverance. Families can apply this teaching by encouraging steady habits instead of quick results. appreciating gradual character development in children, practicing forgiveness when family members make mistakes, building routines of prayer, study, and service, viewing every day as an opportunity for spiritual growth. The strongest families are not those without imperfection, but those who keep growing together. Next sloka. Tapasvibhyo yogi jnanibhyo pimatodikah karmibhyascha yogi tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. Tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. Arjuna, therefore you become yogi. The yogi is superior to ascetics, superior even to those who possess mere intellectual knowledge, superior to those who perform rituals and actions for their fruits, sakam karma karne wale. Therefore Arjuna, become a yogi. Tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. This shloka is the conclusion of Lord Shri Krishna's long discourse on Dhyana Yoga. After explaining meditation, self-control, perseverance, and the destiny of the yogi, Shri Krishna now declares the greatness of the true yogi. However, it is important to understand that Shri Krishna is not criticizing tapa or jnana or karma. Rather, he teaches that the yogi harmoniously integrate all these three and directs them towards union with the God. This shloka summarizes the spiritual vision of Bhagavad-Gītā. Lord Shri Krishna compares three kinds of spiritual seekers. एक है तपस्वी, ascetic. The tapasvi practices austerities such as fasting, self-discipline, and physical restraint. These practices purify the body and mind, yes. However, austerity alone does not guarantee God realization if it is accompanied by pride or by ego. Second is jnani, the scholar. Here the word refers primarily to one who possesses spiritual learning and intellectual understanding. He has not got Atma Dhyan. This scholar is different. He has got bookish knowledge. Knowledge is essential, of course, but merely discussing philosophy without transforming one's life cannot lead to complete realization. The map is valuable, yes, of course, but one must still undertake the journey, na? Map हाथ में लेके क्या करेंगे if you don't travel? Third is karmi, the ritual performer. The karmi performs prescribed duties and religious rituals, often seeking worldly prosperity or heavenly rewards. Such actions are beneficial, yes, but they are motivated only by personal gain. They cannot be themselves, they cannot themselves lead to liberation, moksha, because they become sakam karma. Then who is yogi? The yogi combines the strength of all these three. He practices self-discipline like tapasvi. He seeks true knowledge like a jnani. He performs righteous action like a karmi. But above all, he lives in constant union with the God. His austerity is filled with humility. His knowledge blossoms into wisdom. His actions, karma, become selfless worship of God. Therefore, Shri Krishna declares him superior, not because he rejects the other paths, but because he fulfills their highest purpose. For family people like us, this teaching is especially important. One need not renounce the world to become a yogi. A householder who earns honestly, serves the family lovingly, meditates regularly, studies Bhagavad-Gītā, controls the senses, Indriya Nigraha, offers every action to God, is a true yogi. Why we cannot become yogi while living our family life? We can. Yoga is not defined by clothing or occupation or by social position. It is defined by the inner union with the divine. Okay, what time is now? Okay, I think we can finish now. Let us take the last sloka and then we'll take a summary of this entire adhyaya. Last sloka of this adhyaya. Yoginam api sarvesham madgate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yuktatamo mataha. Among all yogis, the one who with his inner self absorbed in me, God says, in me, worships me with unwavering faith, is considered by me to be the most perfectly united with me. So this is the final shloka of this Adhyaya, Dhyan Yoga or Atma Sanyam Yoga. It serves a very glorious conclusion of the entire Adhyaya. After explaining meditation, self-control, discipline, and gradual evolution of the soul, Shri Krishna reveals the highest form of yoga. The greatest yogi is not merely one who can sit in meditation for long hours. The greatest yogi is the one whose heart is constantly united with God through loving devotion, through bhakti. Thus, the Adhyaya ends by beautifully uniting Dhyana Yoga with Bhakti Yoga. So this concluding shloka of this Adhyaya is one of the most beautiful declarations in Gita. Lord Krishna has spent the entire 6th Adhyaya teaching self-discipline, teaching moderation, yukta ahara viharasya, teaching meditation in details, control of mind, perseverance, compassion, and equal vision, equanimity. Now he reveals their ultimate purpose. Meditation is not an end in itself. Its purpose is to fill the heart with God. Krishna says, among all yogis, notice that he is speaking about people who are already practicing yoga, not ordinary people, the people who are already practicing yoga. Among the advanced seekers, who is the greatest? The answer is surprising. Not the one with the greatest physical austerity, not the one with the greatest intellectual knowledge, not even the one with extraordinary meditative powers. The greatest yogi is one whose inner heart is completely absorbed in God. The phrase Madgate Antaratmana means that the Lord lives constantly in the seeker's heart, even while working, even while serving the family, even while walking, even while resting. The remembrance of God continues. This remembrance is natural, it's loving, and it's joyful. The second qualification is Shraddha, unwavering faith. Faith here is not blind belief, it is deep trust born out of experience and sincere practice. Finally, Shri Krishna uses the word bhajate. The word means much more than ritual worship. It includes loving the God. Bhajate means remembering Him, serving Him, surrendering to Him, and living according to His teachings is bhajate. That is why bhakti becomes the crown of all yoga. Knowledge shows the God. Meditation quiets our mind. Selfless action purifies our heart. But love, bhakti, it unites us with the God. For family people, this shloka offers immense hope. One need not leave home or renounce responsibilities of life. A mother remembering Krishna while caring for her children, a father offering his word to God, a student studying honestly as worship, or an elderly devotee chanting the divine name, all can become highest yogis if their hearts remain united with the God. A king once invited 3 sculptors to create a statue of Lord Krishna. The first sculptor, he displayed remarkable technical skill. The second created the statue decorated with precious jewels. The third sculptor, he worked quietly with simple tools. When the statue was unveiled, everyone noticed tears flowing from sculptor's eyes as he lovingly looked at Lord's image. The king asked, "Why are you crying?" The sculptor replied, "I was not carving stone alone. I was carving my beloved. I was serving my beloved." The king turned to his ministers and said, "The first one had the skill, the second one had the wealth, but the third one had the devotion." That is why his work carries the life. Lord Krishna teaches the same truth. You should have love for God. Knowledge can come. You can do Nishkam Karma. But do you have love, bhakti for God? Shri Krishna teaches the same truth in this shloka. The greatest offering is a heart filled with love. So modern life is often filled with activity but lacks inner connection. This shloka teaches that spirituality is not about adding another task to our schedule. It is about changing the attitude with which we perform every task. A family can practice this teaching by beginning the day with a short prayer together, mentally offering the work and studies to God, chanting the Lord's name during daily routines, reading one shloka at least of Bhagavad Gita every evening, if not one adhyay or entire Gita, ending the day by thanking God for His guidance, and serving society together as an expression of devotion. When love for God becomes the center of family life, every ordinary activity becomes a sacred spiritual sadhana. So this is the end of this adhyay. Now what do we learn from this adhyay? What are the major, should I say, takeaway for us from this adhyay? A quick review of all those takeaways. First, moderation is essential. Balance in food, balance in sleep, in work, and in recreation prepares the mind for meditation. Yukta Harvyara said that shloka. Meditation is gradual, God says. Shanai Shanai Rupa. The mind is trained patiently through abhyas and practice. Abhyas, that means practice and vairagya, detachment. Every spiritual effort is permanent. No sincere prayer or meditation is ever lost. The soul continues its journey. Spiritual progress carries forward across lifetimes. The highest yogi is the devotee. Meditation teaches the fulfillment in loving remembrance of God. Family life is compatible with yoga. Every duty can become worship when offered to the Lord. And love is the culmination of all spiritual disciplines. Knowledge enlightens, meditation steadies, and action purifies. But devotion unites the soul with the God. So the final message of this shloka, this adhyay, is meditation begins by calming the mind, but it teaches perfection when the heart rests in the God. The greatest yogi is not the one who merely sits in silence, but the one who carries the loving remembrance of the Lord into every thought, every action, every relationship, and every moment of life. Such a person, he transforms the home into a temple, work into worship, and life itself into a continuous journey towards the divine. So now, having completed this wonderful adhyay, Atma Sanyam Yoga, let us try to find an answer to an important question, which many of us can think, that even after following the path of goodness prescribed by Gita, why do we face defeat in life? What does Gita say about it? That following Gita path, people still face defeat in their life. What does Gita say about it? So this question has been answered by God Himself, Krishna Bhagavan Himself, in this adhyay, which we have just concluded, Atma Sanyam Yoga, especially through questions which Arjuna has asked from shlokas, I think 37 to 45. Arjuna has asked a question that a person who has faith in spiritual path, but because of an unsteady mind, he fails to attain perfection. What happens to him? Does such a person lose both worldly success and spiritual attainment? Arjuna asked the question, Aiti Shraddhayo Peto Yoga Chalitamanasa Aprapya Yoga Samsiddhi Kangatin Krishna Gacchati. So Krishna, what happens to a person who has faith but whose mind wanders away from yoga and who fails to attain perfection? This question has tremendous relevance to ordinary life like ours. We may sincerely try to be good, which we do. We want to be honest, disciplined, and spiritual. Yet, still we experience failure in life. We may lose an examination, a business, a relationship, a position, or some other worldly goal of our life. We may even feel, I tried to do everything right, then why? Why did I fail? The Gita gives an reassuring answer. No sincere effort towards goodness and self-improvement is ever wasted. Shri says, Nai kalyan krit kashchit durgatin tata gacchati. One who performs what is good and noble never comes to a bad end. This is one of the most comforting assurances in Bhagavad Gita. Failure in an individual attempt does not mean failure of the person. We generally judge ourselves by the visible results. Did I win? Did I succeed? Did I get what I wanted? Shri Krishna asks us to look deeper than this. What did the effort do to our character, our mind, and our consciousness? End result may be good or bad, but the effort that we have taken, how they have done with our character, how they have helped our character, our mind, and our consciousness. So a good action may not immediately produce good results. Circumstances, past actions, and people's decisions and countless factors influence the outcomes of our good work also. But sincere efforts builds samskar, and that is what Krishna values more, that we are building good samskars. Inner tendencies, let remain the valuables. Shri Krishna therefore explains that such a person continues the spiritual journey. In Shloka 40 and 40 to 45, he describes about a seeker how he gets an opportunity. प्राप्य पूर्ण कृतान लोकान विषित्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचिनाम श्रीमतांगे योग पृष्ठो विजायते अथवा योगिनाम एव कुले भवति धीमताम एतद्विदर्लभदर लोके जन्मैदृशम क्षत्रतम बुद्धि संयोग लभते पौर्वदेकम यतदेश ततो भूय संसिद्धो कुरुनंदन पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनेव ह्रियते योगशिक्षा जिज्ञासर्वि योगस्य शब्द ब्रह्माति वर्तते. And ultimately, प्रयत्न दत्तमानस्तु योगी संसिद्ध किल्बिषा अनेक जन्म संसिद्धिस्तो याति परंगति. परंगति उसको मिलती है. So he describes how the seeker gets another opportunity and gradually resumes the path. Previous spiritual efforts is not lost at all. It becomes a foundation for future progress. So this gives a profound answer to this question, that I have done everything good, why did I still fail? God says, defeat is an event, not a verdict on your life. You are not a failure. Geeta does not promise that a good person will never face defeat. It does not say, "Aap Geeta padhiye roz and then you will never face defeat in your life." It promises something deeper. Goodness itself is never defeated. The goodness that we have exhibited, we have shown to people or to ourselves, that goodness is never defeated. The result may be in our favor or may not be in our favor, but the goodness that we have exhibited is never defeated. Therefore, when the life says, you tried to do good and still lost, Bhagavad Gita replies, you may have lost the result, but you have not lost the value of your efforts. That is important. Continue. Your good efforts continue. Nothing sincerely done on the earth or on this path of inner growth is ever wasted. It helps you in this life as well as in future life. Parthanevyo namutra vinashasya vidyate. नहीं कल्याण कृत कश्चित दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. हमारी दुर्गति होना असंभव है. If we follow a good path, we are destined to attain param gati ultimately. Maybe it will take few more lives. How does it matter? God has patience, we also have patience. If not in this life, in after 2-3 lives, we may get moksha, param gati. So continue our good effort, good work. That is what God says. Ignore the result. That is the main message of Bhagavad Gita. Don't focus on the result. Result is not in our hands entirely. It depends on so many factors. But our good efforts, of course, they are in our hands. We have to continue that. That is the message of Gita. Jai Shri Krishna to all. And now the forum is open for all of you to raise your questions. Thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you very much, Bhaiya. Thank you very much. You have explained very well in these sessions, Atma Sanyam Yoga. So I would like to tell you about all of you. If you are having any questions, any query, please raise your hands and you can ask through. Also, those who are joined from Facebook or YouTube, kindly please join through Zoom. Zoom link will be shared to your in a Facebook sessions. Any questions?
Any questions? Most welcome. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Didi, kindly unmute her. Sita Lakshmanji.
In the 46th sloka, he talks about tapasvi. Tapasvi is the person who does meditation. Am I right?
Tapasvi is one who does meditation. He does a lot of physical efforts.
I can't hear you.
Self-discipline. for self-discipline. He takes a lot of good efforts, including meditation. Yes.
I can't hear you properly.
The voice is clear. You kindly check your internet connection if you are facing audio problem.
My internet connection is okay. But what I'm asking is, what is the difference between yogi and tapasvi?
Also, what Sri Krishna says is that yogi is collecting the efforts of a tapasvi, less pride, less ahankar. He collects the good points of a karmi, one who does the karma action without ahankar, without attachment. So all the good points of a tapasvi and karmi, he collects. That's why he is yogi plus all those good points of those people. That's why he is superior to all this. Jnani. Jnani means not Atma Jnana or Jnani, but Jnani who has the bookish knowledge. Like many people have Gita knowledge. But that Gita knowledge, does it make him superior to a yogi? Because yogi is following that Gita knowledge in his life. So only a person who has studied, he does not remain a better person than a yogi. Yogi becomes a better person because he has collected the Jnana plus he is practicing it. So definitely he is superior to a Jnani who has only the Jnana but not practicing it.
Okay.
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 Okay, any other questions, please?
Kailasji, please ask your question.
जय श्री कृष्णा भैया जी।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
भैया जी, मैं दो प्रश्न पूछना चाह रहा हूँ। मेरा पहला तो ये फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, सॉरी
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
सॉरी
Go ahead. Go ahead.
मेरे को बोलना है ना भैया जी। भैया
हाँ
जी,
बोलिए बोलिए बोलिए। हाँ बोलिए आप बोलिए।
my first question is relating to this slok number 41, where it has been said that the unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on the planets of the previous living entities, is born into a family of righteous people.
Right.
भैया जी, इसमें मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि एक तो ये जो प्लैनेट्स हैं, which are ये जो different planets which they are mentioning, which are those planets, and what are the kind of enjoyments they are also mentioning? Planets, different planets, and the kind of enjoyments they are saying that he will experience all the kinds of enjoyments. So, what are those enjoyments which he is going to experience, and which are those planets?
Okay. Okay. You see, we have a very wrong notion about heaven and planets, as you say. Heaven is not a housing society of bungalows, a bungalow of 5 bedroom or 6 bedroom. People are living luxurious life there. That is not heaven. Heaven is the soul living in the company of elevated souls, living in the company of Gyanis or Santa Mahatmas who have liberated, who have got the moksha, and this soul gets an opportunity to live with them. The soul has no body. So there's no question of enjoying any heavenly, what we read in books, that Apsara dance kar rahi hai, and you are doing Surah and all that. That is a rubbish definition of heaven. Heaven is not that. If that is heaven, wherein you enjoy all these kind of things, the Apsara dancing and you are enjoying the drink, then that people are enjoying here on the earth also. Are they in the heaven? So heaven is not that. Heaven is the one wherein the soul gets the company of elevated soul like Devatas or like Santa Dhaneshwar, Santa Tukaram, Kabir. So you get the company of these souls, elevated souls, and then you enjoy their company for a long time, and then you again come back here because you enjoy company for a long time, and then your punya karma is exhausted. So again you come back to earn fresh deposit of virtuous act, and then you again go back.
Baji, they are mentioning lokanushitva, as if there are many loks, many planets. So I just want to.
Lokan is punya kratam. Punya kratam of those who have performed virtuous deeds, their loka,
But
higher worlds,
is it just
heavenly.
is it just one loka, or there are many lokas like those?
See, in our scriptures, we talk of Vishnu loka, Ganesh loka, Lakshmi loka, Devi loka, all those lokas. But they are only for the purpose of description. There is no physical entity of a loka. We talk of Chandra loka. Is there a Chandra loka? People have gone to Chandra. Have they seen any loka there? So this is a notional idea about this, that lokas. Those lokas, as I said, these people do not have a body. So how they can enjoy? Without body, without senses, without indriyas, what their meaning of higher Punya Krutan Lokan is those lokas where the virtuous people who have performed virtuous deeds, they enjoy those destinies. So you live in the destiny, like if you, when you study the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Vishwarupa. In Vishwarup, you see a lot of Siddhi, Sadhak, Rishi, Muni, in that Virat Rupa of God, isn't it? So that is not heaven. When you become one with God, that is the topmost heaven. In 8th Adhyay also Bhagavan says, A Brahma Bhuvan Loka Punaravartinarjuna Mama Pitatu Kante Punarjanma Na Vidyate. Not getting Punarjanma is the highest world for us, becoming one with the God. These people, they enjoy the company of elevated souls who have performed virtuous goods, but they have to come back here after some time.
So
Ushitvan Shashwati.
by enjoyment, they mean only living in the company of those righteous
The
people.
peace of mind, Param Shanti. No sense attraction, no desires, no kamana, total peace of mind. Total peace of mind.
Okay, Bhayaji, then in slok number 45, again,
Yeah.
again it says that after many, many words of practice, the yogi attains the Paramgati. The yogi
Paramgati.
ultimately attains Paramgati.
Yes, yes,
After many, many years of birth.
yes. Many lives. Many lives.
That means that even such a yogi
Yeah.
who already attained a very high level of spirituality, even he will also have to go through many, many births.
Lives. Yes, many lives. Because he has not completed his sadhana. He has done a lot of virtuous work, a lot of punya karma he has done, but he has not attained the perfection in yoga. That means he has not attained the liberation. His yoga sadhana is not of that topmost order. He left it half. Like we are studying Geeta, we are also yogi now. But have we attained perfection in our life? So we are all who are studying Geeta in this life, we are all yoga brashta.
Then my last question is that
Yeah.
all of us, God is sending us to this earth, going through this repeated cycle of
Birth and death.
death,
Hmm.
and endless, which seems to be endless.
Yeah.
And normally, a normal person will have to go through many painful experiences while living a life in this earth.
Yes.
So the question arises: what is the aim, what purpose of God in sending all of us through this repeated cycle of death and birth? Well, what is the ultimate purpose? What is it?
Ultimate is the principle of karma siddhanta. God has given us the human life for attaining Him. We misuse that life.
Sir, Bhayaji, suppose I
Uh,
don't want to come back to earth. If I
uh,
request God that since I don't want to go through these painful experiences every time, why you are forcing me to take rebirth and pass through all these painful experiences?
तो वही है ना बात की it is not in our hands. Our karmas decide our destiny.
So then
Whether
what?
we want to take birth or not is not in our hands.
So then, sir,
Our
what is the purpose of the God? That is what I'm asking. What
purpose of
is
God
it
is to do justice.
doing
Purpose of God is to do justice according to our karma. If our karmas do not demand that we become one with the God, God gives us another opportunity. Go back and make new efforts.
So, sir,
See, our karma should define. See, if we are expecting that we attain God without doing anything good, then that is too much to expect, no?
this process of karma and going
Yes.
repeated birth and death, it has also
Yes.
created by God Himself. He
Yes.
Himself has created this thing.
Yes, yes,
And
yes, yes, yes.
somebody doesn't want to go through all this, then why is forcing everybody?
नहीं, ये तो वही तो है ना, doesn't want to का सवाल ही नहीं है. It is not up to your want or not wanting. Your karmas decide that.
So that
If
is
you
what.
don't want to come, if you don't want to come here again, then do karma accordingly. God has given you that option.
Then
You are
what-
not doing proper karma, and then you are blaming God that why is sending me back here.
No, but what is
God will
the
say, okay, I have given you opportunity to do good karma and come to me for all the time. मेरे पास आ जाओ तो I will not send you back. Paramgati is that gati only which God is giving in Gita. That Paramgati, He is giving us enough opportunities to get that Paramgati. If we are declining that offer from Him and we are engaged in Indriya Sukh and Sakam Karma, then He said, okay, you go back, take the lesson once again. If people do not pass one particular exam, what does happen? Does he get a certificate for having passed the exam? No, he's again asked to reappear for the exam. So God asked us to reappear for the exam for moksha. Moksha is a final exam for human beings. If we don't,
These are endless exams which God has set for us.
endless, endless, endless. And you are fortunate that we have got human life. If our karmas are not good, we may go to inferior yonis. There are 84 lakh yonis as we know. Human is only one, and that is called the topmost yoni, wherein it has the opportunity to attain the God. Suppose our karmas do not justify us becoming a human being again in our next life, we may become a horse, we may become a dog, we can become a cockroach, anything we can become. So that is why when God has given us this opportunity to attain Him, why to misuse it and go to lower level? Because other units do not have this facility of attaining God. Only human beings have this. That's why human being is one of the best units, not one of but the topmost units to attain God. That's why good karma, studying scriptures, doing meditation, doing sadhana, and serving God, bhakti, these are the means by which you can attain God, and that Paramgati will say that, okay, now we don't have to go to God, to the world again for the cycle of birth and death. Eighth Adhyay is wonderful in that. He says, Abrahma Bhona Loka Punaravartin Arjuna, up to Brahmalok. Up to Brahmalok, that is the topmost for elevated souls, for devas. Even those souls have to come down here. But if we attain Paramgati, then God says, Punarjanma na vidyate. Then you don't come back here. Then you become a part of God. Like in Virat Rupa Bhagavan, Arjuna saw the elevated souls in his body. In the Virat Rupa, he saw Rishis, Munis, Sadhaks, Siddhas.
But sir, couldn't God have made this whole process a little bit easier? Why it's difficult? Why so difficult? Extreme.
Easier means what? Easier means what? You are given an option. You are not taking that option. And then you are believing God. You want that you should do whatever you want to do, and you will force God to do what you want Him to do. Is that justified?
No, if somebody wants not to do anything, just be with the God only, not to do anything.
हाँ तो गॉड देता है ना, ऑफर देता है ना, गॉड हमको ऑफर देता है, बट देन वी हैव टू पास दैट एग्जाम ना. If we pass that exam, God will keep him with us. He will keep us with Him for all the time. He will never send back us. And that is the reason that He has given us human life. This is an opportunity to us to attain Him and never to come back here. Your thought is right that I don't want to come here. Okay, very good. Nobody wants to come back here. Everybody wants to rest with the God only. But are we justified in asking for that? हमारे कर्म ऐसे हैं क्या? Are we all very pious souls, full of only virtuous deeds, who have not done anything wrong, no papa karma, no sakam karma in our life? So we should justify ourselves in our demand, and then you can ask God that, okay, now I have done everything possible. I want to attain you. God has given several means to attain Him in Gita. Follow any path, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, any yoga. Okay, any question, please? Any other questions?
Jai Shri Krishna, Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna, Shrikant ji.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for wonderful Vivek, Bhaiya. It's really wonderful. भैया जी, मेरा 3 सवाल है. I have 3 questions. First question is, who is yogi?
Wow, good. After studying yogi, I will say yoga, we are asking who is yogi. Okay. A yogi is a person who is always connected with the God. Yoga is connection. Yoga means connection. A yogi is a person who keeps performing his daily work as we do. He is also a family member, maybe a family member also like us. He takes care of his family. He does good earning for his family. He takes care of his children, his wife, everybody. But all the time he is doing it with two kind of thoughts in his mind that I am not the doer. He has surrendered the sense of doership to the God, that God is getting it done from me, first thing. Secondly, whatever karma he is doing, he is not expecting results from it. Expecting in the sense, he is not getting attached to the results of it. He is doing with a lot of good intention, but if he fails or if he succeeds, it makes no difference to him. He remains equipoised in both the situations. So he is not attached to the karma phala, nor has he having the sense of doership. That means kartartva abhiman. One who does not have kartartva abhiman and the expectation of return and reward and still continues to do his work in life is a yogi. Is a yogi.
Okay.
If we can do this while living our family life, we also can become yogi. That's why Atma Sanjay Yoga, that teaches us that only. That for becoming a yogi, you don't have to live your family life. You don't have to go and hide in a cave or on a mountain. You can become a yogi provided you follow these two basic important things of doing your karma and living your life. If you are enjoying your life, you are getting engaged in sense gratification, indriya sukh, and if you are still coming that I want to become yogi, then you will have to first see that what a yogi means. Yogi means one who is always connected with the God, while performing his karma without expectation of return reward and without the sense of doership. If we do that, we are yogi.
Okay. Perfect, Bhayaji. और मेरा I have second question is from 42nd shloka. From the third, sorry, complete one. Atava yogi namen kule bhavati dhimatam etadhi durlabhataral loke janma yadi drusham. Is what does that durlabhataral means here?
Durlabhataram means very rare, very rare. Dhimatam
Okay.
is a person who is a very knowledgeable yogi. In his family, he takes the birth, but this thing happening is very rare. Somebody getting a janma in a yogi's family is a very rare thing. So
When
first
one.
option is that first you get Suchanam Shrimatam Gehe, a pious family with good standard of living. He does not get that. This is another possibility God speaks about. But he says this is very durlabhadaram. Because there, from the day he takes birth in that family is totally engrossed in spirituality only. They have no other agenda in their life. So he starts his yoga sadhana at a very, very early age. While in other Shrimatam Shukhiram Gehe, he must get maturity and then his previous sanskar should wake him up. Then only that sadhana will start. But when he gets birth in that Dhimatam Gehe, which is Durlabhadram, then his sadhana starts much, much, much earlier. But God said this is a
Any
very rare possibility.
Bhayaji, any example could you give for this shloka in recent times or?
Okay. Anybody getting birth in Ambani's family is Shuchinam Shrimadanke. Because Ambani family is pious, they are quite dharmic, religious family also, and we know their wealth. So anybody getting birth in a family like his family, Ambani family or rich family, is Shuchinam Shrimadanke, provided they are following the religious principles, which to my understanding, Ambani's family they follow. Because you see the photos of those people worshipping God, going visiting temples, serving the poor, building hospitals, and doing a lot of seva. So that is Shuchinam Shrimatange. And then Kule Bhavati Dhimatam, that means the family of yogis, you can see the examples like say Santa Dhaneshwar. Dhaneshwar took the birth in that family. And he directly started writing Dhaneshwar at the age of 16. Can it happen for a normal person? So his yoga sadhana started at much, much earlier age. Because he took birth in the family of yogi only. All the four brothers, Namdev, Naneshwar, Muktavi, they are all such pious souls, yoga brashta, who took birth in the family of yogi only. All four of them. All four of them. So this is another example of Dhimatam Gehe.
Okay. Okay, Vaidya. And final question is related to 47. Could you again explain about the 47th shloka? So just missed out.
47th shloka, what do you want to know?
Complete shloka. Could you just quickly, briefly explain about it?
Okay. 47th shloka is योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समे युक्ततमो मतः. So yogina means among all yogis. Okay. Api means even. Sarvesham, of all. Madgaten, absorbed in me. Madgaten, absorbed in me or fixed on me. Antaratmana, with innermost heart and mind. Shraddhavan, full of faith in me. Bhajate, he worships, he loves, he serves with devotion to me. Mam, to me, that means Lord Krishna. Saha, Saha means Sarvanam in Sanskrit. That person may, by me, Yukta Tamaha, the most perfectly united, the highest yogi, Mataha. This is my opinion. This is considered like this. So Yoginam Sarvesham Madhate Nantaratmana Shraddhavan Bhajate Yomam Same Yukta Tamo Mataha means among all yogis, the one who with his inner self absorbed in me worships me with unwavering faith is considered by me to be the most perfectly united with me. So he is following the principles of yogi, that is performing his prescribed duties without a sense of worship and without any expectation of return and reward. Additionally, he has fixed his mind in Krishna. Then Krishna says, he is the best yogi for me. That he has performed everything, but he is always attached to me. His inner self is attached to me and he is always united with me. Then that is the best yogi. That is the meaning of this shloka 47. Okay.
Okay, Vaidya. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Jai Shri Krishna,
Thank you.
Vaidya.
Yudhishthir Bhaiya, please ask.
Yeah. Vikas Bhaiya, Jai Shri Krishna,
Yes,
and
Lord.
thank you so much. You have
Thank you.
explained the entire chapter in 3 occasions so nicely, and today you
Yeah.
have concluded with such core messages. And it's not only very clear, but also very motivating and very inspiring. My question is now, is it possible to be good all the time good here in this present selfish world? Because sometimes good people get cheated and they get into trouble. That is the problem.
No, that is the part of life. If you are getting cheated, that does not mean you should also cheat people. Okay. You have to be careful from next time. But if you treat the person in the same way as he has treated you, if he has cheated you, then you also cheat somebody else, then that is not the spiritual life.
No, what I'm
That's the
saying,
thing. Yeah.
what I'm saying, the people take advantage of good people because of their goodness. That is the present.
Yeah, yeah, that happens. That happens.
That
But when
happens.
you help somebody in need and you know that that fellow is taking advantage of your goodness, when you help him, you help with the expectation that he is doing whatever he wanted to do. I will do what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Sant Eknath, once he was walking across a river, a crab, it bit him once. He was
Okay.
walking and he bit him once.
Okay.
He lifted him and put him in the water.
Okay.
After some time, again bit him. Again put him in the water. Again third time put him. Again put him in the water. A fellow was watching Santa Eknath doing this. He asked him, why are you doing this? He's biting you again and again, and you are again saving him and putting in water. Why don't you kill him? He said, his dharma is to bite. My dharma as a santa is to save.
Yeah.
So he is doing his swadharma. I should do my swadharma. Why should I
No,
go
no,
to his
I
level?
quite agree. I quite agree with you because if we try to change our style, that will be uncomfortable to us, and we cannot live a life which is of uncomfortability. See, so
Yeah.
we have a all prakriti of goodness, and suddenly I cannot change my, habit of being bad, and that will be more painful to me. I think what you have told is correct. The dharma, he is doing your dharma, and you are doing your own dharma.
Yes. See, the thing is, Krishna doesn't say that you should allow people to take disadvantage of you.
Okay.
Otherwise, you would have told Arjuna, okay, don't fight, surrender.
Hmm.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
say that. On the contrary, he told Arjuna, don't accept any kind of injustice. No injustice should be tolerated by us. That lesson is for us also. We should not tolerate any
actually,
injustice.
yeah, as you said, no, that three combinations, tapasvi, jnani, and karmi. So
Karmi.
I think you have to also have wisdom in a particular case. You must understand the situation, accordingly behave. So all the three
Yes.
combinations will help you to be also practical, being at the same time good.
Correct. So that is why the tapasvi, he does lot of physical, should I say, torture of his body by taking very strict tapas, but then he becomes ahankari. So yogi, he does tapa minus ahankar. A jnani, he reads the books, but he does not leave the books. He does not leave his jnana. Yogi, he knows the knowledge, he knows the things, he has the wisdom, and he leaves that wisdom in his daily behavior. So that way, yogi is called superior to these people. He has got all the plus points of those tapasvi, yogi, and karmi.
No, I think the entire chapter as well as this episode has given a very new insight to at least me and to many people that how we are going to live our life. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Prabhakar Bhaiya, please ask.
Thank you, Vikas Bhaiya, for such a wonderful explanation. I'm closely listening all your vivation, especially for this adhyaya. And I have some doubt about in earlier vivation. I want to take you back a little bit earlier. That in earlier vivation, you said that you said while teaching us the meditation that the God is simply sitting inside the soul and watching us. And in our case, we are breathing happening normally, seeing happening normally, hearing happening normally, and we feel that we are not the doer. And this also you said that it is done by the nature. It's done by the nature. So I just want to know, is this nature different from God? Who is this nature then?
See, there are two entities. One is Prakriti and one is Purush. Purush is the God.
Okay.
Prakriti is the system developed by God.
Okay.
And that system is such, it is developed once only by God. And in that system, once developed, even God does not interfere. So the Prakriti is the nature, like the sun is asked to rise at a particular time, the moon is asked to rise at a particular time, the ocean are expected to perform in a particular way. These are all the rules of Prakriti, all the rules of nature. Similarly, the Prakriti is instructed that tally the karma of a soul and then accordingly give him the body. At the end of his life, take a view of what karmas he has done. And then accordingly, out of 84 lakh yonis, whatever yonis, there is a fixed program. This karma, this yoni. This karma, this yoni. So 84 lakh yonis have been designed like an IT program of a mainframe computer by God, which we call as Prakriti. God does not interfere in that program once he has developed that program.
But in many cases, we believe that nothing happens without the wish of the God, isn't that? Even the trees also, even the leaf doesn't fall down without the wish of the God. We believe that way.
Yeah, that's true. No? Because God is always superior. God has created Prakriti. Prakriti is not superior to Prakriti. That is, the Prakriti is also the God's Maya, what we call.
So Prakriti is not the God. It's the creation by the God. Okay.
Prakriti is not God. Prakriti is not God.
That is the confusion I have. Yes.
No. Prakriti is not God. Prakriti is created by God, but Prakriti is not God. Prakriti is much lower than God.
Okay. Thank you, Vaidya. Thank you so much.
Rajmani Didi, please unmute yourself. Ask Didi.
Namaskar, Guruji.
Namaskar.
I have a question that is all living beings are Jivatma and the God is Paramatma, right? We are part of God, the Almighty.
Yes.
So, in living beings, some are good, some are bad, some are thieves, some are like that. Differences are there. In that case, God is also like that only, no? Bad, good, thief, like that. It is my doubt. That is because he has created in his. We would have taken so many previous births. So in the first birth, definitely we are as pure as God, since we are the part of Paramatma. But after death, only in the worldly desires, we would have become like this. But that desire, how did it come to us? We should.
Okay.
We were
Okay, good
as
question.
good as.
Okay, good question, Rajamani ji. See, the thing is, our soul is a fragment of God. Mamai Mausho Jiva Loke or Sarvasya Ham Hridayan Nivishto. These shlokas in Gita, they explain that our soul is a fragment, is a part of God. But what about our body, our senses, our mind, our intellect? That is not God gifted. That is given by Prakriti. And that is given to us for attainment of God. Unfortunately, what we do is we misuse that mind, that buddhi, that intellect, those senses, or dhanendriyas and karmendriyas, only for seeking pleasure in life, and we forget about the God. So when the instruments given by God to attain Him are misused against Him, then we deserve punishment, no? So punishment is go back to the life of cycle of birth and death. But if
That
we
intention.
properly use those, if we properly use those in doing spiritual sadhana, in doing meditation, in studying Bhagavad-Gītā, Vishnu Sahasranam, and constantly getting united with him like a yogi, then Paramgati is guaranteed. That also is guaranteed. Now it is for us to choose the path. God has given us the option. If you enjoy your material life, keep coming to the life, this cycle of birth and death. I have no problem. I will keep you giving you the life after life. Innumerable life you can come again. But if you want to attain me, then follow these prescripts, what I have given you in Gita. Follow that and come to me. Then you don't go back to this cycle of birth and death. Now we don't follow the path given by him in Gita, and then we keep complaining that why he is throwing us back again in life and this cycle of birth and death. Choice is ours. He has given us the freedom to work. Freedom to karma is given by God to us. We misuse that freedom. Like democracy is misused by people and they start doing anything rubbish that we saw in recent days in Delhi also at Jantar Mantar. That is not democracy. If you misuse democracy, then you don't deserve democracy. So similarly, if we are misusing the instruments given by God as human beings to us, then we don't deserve to be human beings. We will go to the lower species in the next life if we misuse those instruments given by God.
Ji, one more thing. That is,
Yeah.
if is my understanding correct? That is, already, as you said, God is one and Prakriti is another. It is the
Yes.
system, and God is the person who has initiated.
Yes. Yes.
In
Yes.
that, in this case, in Prakriti, in the system, there is good thing as well as bad thing. The system is already, it is there. So we, the Jivatmas, were allowed to live in this, and we have taken the bad things, becoming a bad person, and taking good things as a good person. Is it right? Is my understanding correct?
See, the thing is, our Jivatma is a pure soul, and since it's a fragment of God, it cannot be impure. The problem comes when this soul gets too much attachment with the body, and whatever is done by body, mind, intellect, and senses, it starts claiming that I have done it. So this I in our soul, it creates the bondage for the soul, and that is why the soul is getting repeatedly new bodies, life after life. This is because of this attachment to the body. That's why in 13th Adhyaya, Kshetra Vibhaga Yoga, and entire Bhagavad Gita, of course, it says that we are not bodies, we are not mind, we are not intellect, we are the souls. But we forgot our own knowledge about this. We don't know who we are. We think we are a body. If you ask anybody, who are you? You will say, I am so and so. Nobody will say, I am a soul of, I am a fragment of God. People will start laughing at us. Oh, what is this? So nobody wants to be knowledgeable about this, that he is the soul and not the body. We get so much attachment with the body that we start identifying ourselves with only our body, mind, intellect. That is the reason that the souls keep on getting repeated different bodies in different lifetimes, depending upon the karmas which are done by body, senses, mind, intellect, not by the soul. Soul has only witnessed those and has become a party to it because it has started believing that he is the body. That's why he has to face the consequences. If we do away with the sense of doership, then we don't get bondage. That is what Gita teaches us. Don't claim the sense of doership. Do everything as a sakshi, as a witness. These bodies, whatever senses are doing, observe their activities. Don't get too much attached to it. So attachment is the main thing that causes problems to us. That's why the principle of Gita is detachment from attachment. If we learn this technique of living the life, detachment from attachment, then we'll be very happy and we can attain God with this simple technique of detachment from attachment.
Thank you, Vaidya. Thank you so much.
Any more questions, please?
Preksha Didi.
Good evening, Bhaiya. Thank you for the wonderful interpretation. I'm very glad and I'm learning so many things from this interpretation. I'm getting so much of peace. But Bhaiya, I have a weird problem. Whenever I see God idol, I start fighting. I feel like hitting. I feel like throwing. So I stop going to temple only. I have two minds. One is towards God, always chanting. The other one is always disturbing, always disturbing. It has become so much that I went to even psychiatrist to check why it is happening. It is disturbing me so much. I cannot do any work. If I start cooking, I feel like pouring hot water on God's idol. Any work I do, I feel like eating. So I feel so scared of God idol. I don't know how to come out of this weird thinking. I'm blessed. I have everything. God has blessed me with everything. But this thinking of mine has become big enemy. I'm not able to do any of my job work, household work. Only my husband knows this problem. Treatment did not work, so I stopped taking even tablets. But after listening to Bhagavad-Gītā, I'm getting so much of peace, but I'm not able to overcome with this mind. It has become my big enemy. Big enemy. If I feel like eating something, I feel like eating God. Then I stop. Why should I eating God? Then if I want to buy some clothes, I buy. By the time I give money, I get the same thought again. I'll stop buying. Sometimes my children and all feel why mommy is doing like this. So I'm not able to overcome this problem. It is killing me. It's killing me. Every step I keep, it is becoming more and more. The other way, my mind always want to chant, want to go to temple, want to listen Bhagavad Gita. I have two sets of mind in me, fighting me every day. I'm not able to overcome this problem. So yeah.
Yeah. See, Didi, I understand your problem. It's a little complex problem, but this comes from our Purva Samskar. You don't have to blame yourself for this life. This has come to you from our earlier samskars, from past life. Now, this life is an opportunity for you to cleanse the past samskars, and the best way to cleanse the samskars is to go into meditation. Take any shloka of Bhagavad Gita, which you like the most, and which you, as you say, sometimes you are in love with God, you want to visit temple, other time you are in enmity with the God. When you are in love with the God, take that moment out for meditation. Enter into meditation. And this kind of thought will start slowly coming less and less in your mind. As you increase the time of meditation, you will find more and more peace of mind. Your
My
problem
evil
is,
mind will not allow me to sit only, Bhaiya. I cannot sit. feel like eating everything because of one or two bad incidents what has happened in my childhood. It has made me think God is like that. But the other mind is controlling the negative mind. But my negative mind is not leaving me because I told God I will stop doing that work. Everywhere it's becoming more more means more pain.
I understand, Didi, that, but the thing is, if you yourself cannot come over this situation, seek the blessings of a guru. Go to a spiritual teacher, go to a yoga teacher, and get it done from him. Tell him your exact problem. Take the Diksha from Puja Swamiji. He has handled many such cases. I don't know which city you are in. Where are you? If
I'm
you
in
happen to
Bangalore.
visit,
Yeah.
huh? So if you go to Haridwar or you go to
And I have
Rishikesh or
internet.
huh?
Bhaiya, she said she's from
I
Bangalore.
have internet issue also. I think I think
Okay, okay.
I
So
thought
you
today
take
I
the
will get some
you take
solution, but
spiritual
no.
guidance. We cannot address it, but the only thing that comes to my mind is focus on meditation. Particularly this adhyaya, what you have concluded today, sixth adhyaya, Atma Sanyam Yoga, your Sanyam is little bit weak. That is the reason that your mind is fluctuating from here to there. When the mind is unsteady, you cannot focus on anything. That is causing the problems. Focusing the mind, best place to start meditation. It may not be successful for a month, but sit for 5 minutes initially. Put an alarm at 4:30 in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning and sit for meditation. First, observe only the breathing, inhaling and exhaling. I have given many tips in our last 3 sessions, including today's, how to meditate.
Yes.
You can go to
Yes,
YouTube
sir.
and see those meditational steps that I have explained for a particular shloka. Follow those steps for a few days. You'll definitely find the difference.
Yes, sir. But I'm scared that I will be punished for this type of bad thinking. Like that, I will be like wondering, should I leave like that? My thought will come.
So that bad thinking will go away. Bad thinking will not come to your mind when the mind is at peace. It is the peace of mind that is disturbed. Once you get the peace of mind, nothing bad is going to happen.
Yes, sir. When
Okay.
this
Any other
thought
questions,
comes,
please?
so like just stop and continue with my work, or should I stop my work only, Bhaiya? Like
No,
that,
no,
it
no. Never
happens.
stop
Like
the work.
cooking, it comes, and then I
Never
stop
stop.
cooking only, Bhaiya.
No, 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 no. Never stop the work. Never stop the work. Continue your work and continue this spiritual sadhana. Both can be continued parallelly. Don't give up the work.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions, please?
No. So this is the last.
Okay.
So thank you very much, Bhaiya. You
Thank you,
have
Pranada.
explained very well and you have given all chance. Thank you very much. Lots of thanks. And lots of thanks to our backend team, Bhavini Didi, Rajani Didi. Thank you very much. Those who have kind support from backend team and technical team. And thank you very much, our Geeta Pariwar, Sadhak, those who have complete making successful this event. So thank you very much. We are moving ahead for prayer. I would like to call Abhay Kumar Tripathi ji. He is from Jamshedpur. He is a retired engineer from Tata Steel. He is Geeta Vrati in June 2025. He has joined Geeta Parivar in September 24. Please welcome Bhaiya.
Pranada, before that, I want to make a small announcement to all our sadhaks who are present till now on YouTube or as well as on Zoom. Geeta Pariwar will be inaugurating their 50th session of training that we call Golden Jubilee Batch from 16th of October. We have a target that we will train 1 lakh sadhak in that 16th October beginning batch. So I urge all of you, I request all of you to re-register and encourage your family members, friends. Each one of you should at least get 5 people to get registered with Geeta Pariwar for learning Geeta. We have a target of 1 lakh sadhaks joining us from 16th of October, and a strong support from all of you is anticipated, is required for that. So I request you all to please get registered at least 5 people, each of you, and then help Geeta spreading the message of Bhagavad Gita. In 18th Adhyaya, God says, those who spread my message, they are the perfect devotees of me. I love them the most. So if you want to become dearmost of Krishna, the easiest way is to spread the Gita message, which all of us can do to our families and friends, isn't it? So request you all to spread Gita message. Jai Shri Krishna.
जय श्री
Sorry,
कृष्ण
continue please.
भैया प्रेयर अभय त्रिपाठी जी
जय श्री कृष्ण योगेशं सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण
Jai Shri Krishna, and thank you very much, Bhaiya, and thank you very much, Vikas Dada. You have told that about 58th Golden Jubilee sessions start from 16 October. So please share this message to near and dear everywhere. So we are chanting Hanuman Chalisa and listening together. After Hanuman Chalisa, we'll depart from these sessions and we will meet in next sessions, next Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Vivechan. So please till then, good night and Jai Shri Krishna.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरनउँ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिरहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब वीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत सी सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Geeta Pariwar, I Pranav Pancholi take your leave and permission.